Welcome to Gen X and Fit Podcast. I'm Dell,
I'm Lena.
last name Gines. And today we're going to talk about a couple of different issues. But first, what new has been happening in your world?
Nothing but today I lit 2 candles in the background instead of 4 just to give some nice ambiance. It's actually your head's in the way. Somebody said last week that they couldn't watch past after seeing 4 candles lit. But he was really smelly last week, so I had to light the 4.
Whatever. So, how's your gym feud going?
It's not a feud. He says I have a gym feud. Okay, so last week we were talking about this lady that I have been seeing the last 3 years, and she was giving me bad energy, and so I was really frustrated. So Dell said I needed to do what Jesus would do and smile and be kind regardless of the vibe and energy she was giving me, because I literally said I'm going to give her the same energy she gives me. However, I did smile at her 3 times this week and made an effort to talk to her, and he saw me, so he's my witness. She still is not coming through, but
She will come around.
we'll see.
Around.
We'll see.
She only gives me good energy. Anyway, so we got a couple topics that we want to talk about today. Just as somewhat continuation of last week. So we want to talk a little bit about things like liposuction and lap bands, and dysmorphia, vegan, non-vegan fitness support system.
What you?
I don't know why it just cut off. I don't even know where it cut off at. So anyway, we're going to talk about liposuction and lap bands, dysmorphia, vegan and non-vegan lifestyles in your fitness support system. And so we've been going back and forth on it because I've been training Lena's glutes lately, so over the past couple weeks. And I've been calling myself the booty blaster.
No, please.
And she doesn't like
guys,
that
please
term.
Tell him he should not be called the booty blaster.
I am the booty blaster.
It does not sound appropriate.
But it's what I am.
It does.
Do I not blast your booty?
No, that sounds disgusting.
Has your booty grown since I started working?
No.
Yes, it has. That's been the plan.
Maybe, but you
Trust
didn't
me,
blast my booty.
it's firmer, it's rounder, it's more peach-like. Because
in 3 weeks.
Yes, because I blasted the booty. So therefore, I am the booty blaster. So
we are taking name suggestions. So if you have a better name suggestion besides booty blaster, then please send us your suggestions.
I'm already copywriting it. So we want to talk about liposuctions and lap bands, and but we want to do this in the context of Lena had a post today where she kind of shared what she did in terms of her plastic surgery, why she did it. It's on her Facebook page. You can go read it. But I think a lot of people get confused about these different surgeries, why people get them, what the differences are. Like even me, I had to correct because I was telling people, yeah, Lena got the mommy makeover. And you're like, that's not the mommy makeover. So first of all, tell them what the mommy makeover is.
So mommy makeover is fine, and that's what I thought I was getting. The mommy makeover is liposuction, a full tummy tuck, and breast augmentation. So there are variations to that, but liposuction with fat being taken from your thighs, your butt, your back, and your tummy. Like I said, some people may have more, some people might have less. So when I went in, I initially thought that's what I was going to get because I felt like I needed that. But in talking to my surgeon, he said I didn't have enough fat to take from places. So, which was good for me. I mean, I found places that I'm sure he could have taken it from. But he was very honest with me. He said, there's not enough. It's not worth the surgery. It's not worth me going in there. I'm not going to pull enough. You've done the work in the gym to get the fat down, and now we just have to correct the things that you're not comfortable with that you cannot correct in the gym. So then I went in for I initially went in for look at last week's episode, a diastasis recti repair, but he did lower abdomen skin removal, and he did breast augmentation. Also, I was very adamant that I wanted small breasts, and the reason for that is... First of all, I didn't even go in really thinking I was wanting breasts. I kind of probably, now looking back, I feel so much more feminine, and I feel like even my mom and my sisters are like, oh my gosh, you needed those a long time ago. But wasn't my big concern. My big concern was my stomach. I was very adamant about getting small breast augmentation. He was, and all of my girlfriends were like, no, go bigger. And he was like, no, we'll go with what you're comfortable with. And I was just nervous because I didn't want to look too top heavy, and I just want to look feminine and feel beautiful in that way. Just my preference.
And it had nothing to do with me.
Nothing. And please don't, I wanted to say this a little bit more aggressively on my Facebook post, but people get so offended. Please don't do this for someone else. Do this for yourself. We've talked about it for like 14 years, since my last baby was born. We've talked about it just off and on, not like continuously or consistently. It was just like a couple years ago by we'd say something about it or discuss it. I did get full support from him, which I also think you need in a partnership.
Well, but here's the thing: is it wasn't a big deal to me. It was something that she wanted to do, and it was clear, from the pictures. And this is where people get confused: is that they think doing those things makes you better in the gym or something like that. It has nothing to do with it. A lot of the things are when you get to the low body fat percentage that she had, and you still have such a looseness and sagginess in your skin.
Like I did everything I possibly could do in the gym. And so like I was saying, I could not have repaired and healed without support. And if you are considering plastic surgery, make sure that someone is there to help you if you need to hire a nurse or something.
And here's how the doctor was really good. I liked the doctor that we went to, and I was comfortable with them, with the doctor. And they did have a psychologist on staff because I guess a lot of women feel pressured by their significant others to get procedures. And I think that can cause, I would never want to be pressured to get any kind of procedure on my body just for a cosmetic purpose. But I guess that happens enough where they have to have a psychologist on staff.
Well, not only for that, but they also had it for the patient's mental state of mind. Like they don't want anybody just coming in there saying, hey, give me size double D's because that's what I want. They want to make sure that you're mentally sound and making a good decision and making a thoughtful and thorough decision. So anyway, those were the surgeries I chose to have, and it was I didn't get my belly button. I was kind of weird about that. I didn't want my belly button to be moved, or I didn't want it to look different. It kind of looks different because the skin's pulled really tight, but I wanted that to stay the same. I wanted small. They're still a little swollen, but they're not overly aggressive, or they don't hinder me in any way as far as working out. And the skin, it looks good so far. It's still a little swollen. We'll kind of see in a couple months how it turns out. But I'm very happy with the surgery. I'm very pleased with the surgery. I think that you need to really take time to talk to your surgeon. I went in 3 times and was asked tons of questions, and before I even set the surgery date. And Dell came with me and just wanted to hear everything, and that's that. Yeah,
and I think the reason that I think I wanted to bring it up again this time is because it's guy or girl, whatever, it's really your choice to do with it what you want. But you have to really understand a couple things. First of all, getting cosmetic surgery of any type is no substitute for being healthy and in the gym.
Right.
It's not going to fix those. Even some of the things we're going to talk about next in terms of cosmetics, lap band, and liposuction does not correct your diet, your lifestyle, the things that are going to influence your health when you're over 40. Especially when you get over 40 and your body begins to age and change. If you want to do those things cosmetically, that's up to you. That's your body. If you feel like that is going to get you where you want to go psychologically or in any other thing, that's on you. That's not for us to say. But I think you do need to really be cognizant of the fact that it is a real surgery. Like somebody's going into your body, and anytime that you have that kind of surgery, it's a risk. 1, and then 2, realize that if you do have things like other insecurities, other things we're going to talk about later, it's not going to fix that. Like there's no amount of cosmetic surgery you can get in the world to fix a psychological state or your mental health. You need to really, if you have those problems, and I'm not suggesting everybody that does, have cosmetic surgery has them, but if you have those problems, you can or if you're doing it for somebody else, recognize that that's not going to solve some of the things that you need to solve if you have issues that you got to work on
for sure
individually. And that's probably something we got to talk about later is, just regular mental behavioral health, positive state of mind. So that brings us to two particular things in liposuction and lap bands. Do you want to explain what each of those are?
Well, to be super just general, liposuction is suctioning fat cells out of fat out of your body. You can Google it, but it's like a long tube, and they into your thighs, butt, back, tummy, wherever you need it or want it. The lap band, so it removes the fat, and some people can have a lot of fat, some people can have a little bit of fat, but whatever. The lap band, there's another name for that surgery, and you guys can.
I don't know. There's probably a technical name to it.
There's a couple different surgeries you can have to shrink the stomach. So the lap band surgery is a band they actually put around your stomach to like make your stomach smaller, so that you can't hold as much food. So here's a couple of problems with both those surgeries. So the liposuction, you can regrow fat cells.
Well, I wouldn't say they're problems, but things people need to know.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the second one is a problem, but you can still, it's not a quick solution for a long-term problem that you may have with food. So if you're thinking, let me get liposuction to suck some fat out so I look great, if you still have a problem with being, having self-control over what you eat or not getting to the gym or just taking care of your body in that way, it's not going to solve that issue. And that goes along kind of the mental part of the whole surgery process. But it does pull out fat, and you might look better for a little while, but you need to maintain and still work out and eat healthy. The lap band, and then you can ad lib on this. The problem with that is that you can lose a lot of nutrients with that. So someone close to me just had that surgery, and she needs to take a lot of vitamins, a lot of antacid, because her food comes back up really quick. She throws up quite a bit, and so she has to be very cognizant of the nutrients her body can keep, because she's not getting a lot of the nutrients she actually needs. So you had to but your surgeon should talk to you about those things. It should be super thorough. But anyway, they're not quick fixes.
And usually lap bands are done on usually heavier people, very heavier people. And many times they're done at doctor's recommendation to be able to get the fat content down and lose weight, so that you avoid other issues like diabetes, heart issues, blood pressure issues, other things, knee issues. And I've known quite a few people that have had them. Some they've stuck and some they haven't. But the biggest issue is genetically, the way we're wired is you get heavier when you eat more than what your body can burn. So that's it. So it doesn't matter if you have liposuction. If you eat the same amount that you eat and you don't work out, you're going to gain the fat back. It doesn't matter if you have lap band, your stomach's going to re-expand and you're going to end up gaining the weight back. We've seen that happen as well. So the point is that when we talk about any form of cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery, there's no substitute for taking care of yourself, especially when you're over 40, because so many things start happening biologically with us as we age. It becomes harder to lose weight. It becomes harder to put on muscle. You become more at risk for other things that happen as you age, resistance to disease, immunity, all of those things. So even if the doctor recommends or you choose to get those, whichever it is, there's no substitute for you taking better care of your body. Doesn't mean you have to be maybe as extreme as Lena is or any competitor, but you do have to be cognizant of that issue. So the bottom line is, make sure that when you get great doctor recommendations, I would say,
I went to 2 different surgeons.
Go to good doctor. Talk to other people that have done them. How many people? And let me tell you, this is how women are weird. Women are so much weirder than guys. Like this, and this is crazy because guys would never do that. So Lena always tells me she'll go into the locker room at Planet Fitness, and for whatever reason, get in conversations, about her breast augmentation, and women will ask to fill them.
Or see them. And I'm like, hey, go ahead.
On multiple occasions. And then they'll all start talking, the others will start talking about how they got theirs. They'll start comparing. You would never say this. You would never see this happen in a guy's locker room. Like, I'm not going to go up to a guy and say, hey, I'm not even going there. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say, hey, let's compare. You got something done? Can I see it? No. That's a women only. That's pretty much a woman thing. But but it's a good. While I'm joking about it, I say it's a good thing because there's a level of freedom to share information. that maybe guys tend not to have.
Well, and I've had 5 children come out of my body, and there's no dignity in that at all. And I think that women have a little bit more of a we're
And you
exposed
know,
in that situation is a vulnerability maybe.
and again, like I said, I was perfectly fine with her not having any of this done.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't a big issue to me. It just never was. Although her breast did look like 2 pepperoni pizza slices. So
They were
yeah,
pretty bad.
and everybody she saw said, "Girl, you probably need to get something done." But all of this topic leads us into what I think is probably a significant topic that you see in many different ways, which is dysmorphia. You want to tell them what dysmorphia is?
You go ahead.
So dysmorphia is where you don't perceive the reality of your body. You know, so it happens a lot. Most people attribute it to people who have anorexia, where people think that they're never skinny enough, and then other people look at them and say, "Wow, you can play xylophones on your ribs. You're way too skinny." But in their mind, when they look in the mirror, they're not skinny enough. In the fitness world, I think is worse than anything else, because you know you have, especially with guys, especially if they've been lifting a long time, they start losing a little weight. They'll start thinking they're small, they're shrunk, they're shriveled, and they're sitting at 270 pounds. So it can impact you a lot of different ways. It's when you get in your own head, you can't see reality. Other people around you may tell you that, you know, you look fine, or you're getting too big or too small, and you'll look in the mirror and be like, "No, I'm not. I need to go further." So that's something to think about.
It is an issue, and it goes what you call big morphia. Is that
Yeah,
what
somebody on
one
one of the podcasts I follow, somebody asked the guy, "Does he have big morphia?" I mean, you know, because in the fitness industry, think about it. There's a lot of people I feel get into the fitness industry because of insecurity. Also, people get into it for the love of the sport. I get that, but there's a lot of insecurity. A lot of people trying to develop what they perceive to be the perfect body. A lot of people trying to get bigger. A lot of people trying to get leaner. And when you're in that world, it can start messing with your mind.
It does, and especially when you're doing competitions, they call it, I don't know what it's called, but after you compete, a little bit of depression sets in because your body starts to put on a little bit more fat and you're not as leaned up and toned up. You definitely have to have a sense of extreme security getting up on stage in a bikini, and I didn't even have that, but I did realize that I had a little bit of it because otherwise I wouldn't have done it. But to get up on that stage and to be vulnerable like that, and then to maintain a good mental state of mind and be secure in my body with the different phases it goes through. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I get very frustrated when I don't see results quickly because I work very hard, and I do share that with my husband a lot. Body dysmorphia comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's something that's very, very real, and something that some people really do need to get help for. And psychological help for. I've looked in the mirror several times and very critical of the way I look, and I have people that compliment me all the time, and I'm like, that doesn't matter. I don't look the way I want to look. But I can't negate the fact that I don't look horrible, but my perception of myself sometimes,
And
I think I do. So
there is a difference. So there's a difference between where you know that you have to achieve a certain goal for a period of time, whether maybe it's losing weight because the doctor said you need to lose weight to get, to avoid diabetes, versus, you just out and out are doing something that could potentially be damaging to your health. Like if you're a competitor, then there's just a certain way you have to diet to look on stage to be competitive.
So it messes with your mind either way you look at it. It's anorexia and bulimia are huge body dysmorphia diseases. But I think there are many, many forms of it if we get into it. There's competitor dysmorphia.
People that feel they have
morphia.
to always be shredded, have to be bigger. All of these different kind of things, they stem from the same thing, which is the inability for you to look accurately at yourself and adequately evaluate yourself. And this is why, talking about issues of mental health, I'm not talking about you're crazy enough to go into the loony bin, which we don't even say anymore. I think that's part of the old school stigma of it. But there's still a stigma attached to mental health, going to see counselors, group therapy, things like that. But even if we're not going to go as far as that, what I think you need to do is have a good support circle around you of people who speak the truth to you in a loving manner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to kind of keep you
Grounded.
people that you trust, that when they tell you something, even if you don't feel it, you can trust in what they say and act on it.
And this is also why, as a competitor, I have a coach. I could not do this without a coach looking at my weekly pictures and saying, okay, this is what I see compared to this week, compared to this week. I think it does put me into a different state of mind when she tells me versus when I don't see something or do see something that I don't like.
So when we talk, and this is kind of a transition, so if those of you are struggling with it, we're not mental health counselors. Sometimes you recognize that you come out of the fog and say, hey, this isn't right. I'm doing damage to myself, whichever way it is. A lot of times it happens in anorexia, which literally can kill you, but it happens in other ways. We're not mental health, counselors, but one of the things that I would recommend, especially in the fitness world, is to get a fitness support circle around you. I think that's why it's an important, thing, like whether it's your group, a group of fitness people that, you can associate with that'll keep you accountable, keep you honest, but also help you reflect on yourself, or other people in your life that you have that. And I know it's tough, we say it like it's easy, but we live in a society where there's so many people that are either superficial or difficult to develop trust relationships. That can be a hard thing. But you got to get people like that in your life, especially at our age. Like there's this big assumption that because you get older that you have it, figured out. And the fact is, y'all know, because you be around them, some of the worst people in the world are over 40. Because what has happened is they've never solved for some of the challenges that they've had, and it just become harder in them.
Or they don't progress.
So what I would say is if you're interested in the fitness world or you feel like you're struggling, get some people around you that'll support you and tell you the truth in a loving way. So that's our talk on dysmorphia. Feel free to ask us any questions on that. So we're nearing the end of this episode. Eventually I want to talk about my feeling about the body positivity movement. It's kind of the reverse of dysmorphia, I think, where no matter what you do or what you look like, you never consider that you have to change, or you just accept it in many ways. And I know that's it's a sensitive topic, but I think we need to be rational and critical about ourselves in a positive way. So,
and please know that these are our views, and feel free to disagree with them.
Yeah, you can disagree.
Yeah, we're not like you said, we're not professionals. We don't know everything.
So we really we kind of want to see you support. We want to see you thrive. Like lack of health once you get over 40, lack of quality, healthy lifestyle is one of the number one things that'll get you.
Yeah, we want to be around for our great grandbabies.
So anyway, if you like it, make sure you share. You can find us on SoundCloud, find us on YouTube, or find us on the website, genxandfit.com. You have any last words?
Next week's episode is going to be on veganism and non-veganism. So I'm a vegan and he's not. So stay tuned for that, and we'll tell you how it works.
All right. We out.